The streets are already quiet when you arrive. Not the kind of quiet that feels empty, but the kind that feels settled, as if the city has finished its day and folded itself away for the night. The stone beneath your feet still holds a little warmth from the sun, though the air has begun to cool. You walk slowly. There is no reason to hurry. Ahead of you, the bathhouse stands with its doors still open. Lantern light spills softly onto the street, not bright, not inviting, simply present. It has stood here longer than most people remember, longer than anyone speaks about. You step inside. The sound changes immediately. Outside noises fade, replaced by the gentle echo of your footsteps on marble. Each step returns to you, softened, as if the building itself is listening. The air is warm, carrying the familiar scent of steam, stone, and herbs. Lavender, perhaps, or something older that no one names anymore. Near the entrance, an old man sits on a low wooden stool. He does not look up right away. He is thin, wrapped in a simple wool cloak, his hands resting calmly on his knees. His hair is white, not neatly trimmed, not wild either, just there, like the rest of him. When he finally lifts his eyes, he smiles, slowly. "You are late," he says. Not scolding, not surprised, just stating a simple truth, the way one might say the sky is dark or the air is cool. I wondered if anyone would still come. You apologize softly, though you are not sure why. The baths are still open, the door was not closed, the lamps are still burning. The old man nods once, as if he accepts your apology, then reaches for a small oil lamp beside him. He lifts it, careful and steady, and gestures down the long hall. "Go on," he says. "The water is still warm." You pass him, and as you do, you notice something small. His sandals are worn thin at the soles, shaped to his feet as if they never belonged to anyone else. The hall stretches ahead, lined with stone columns. The walls are smooth, polished by countless hands and years. Lamps hang at regular intervals, their flames flickering gently, breathing. With each step, the air grows warmer. You pause near a basin and rinse your hands. The water flows quietly, steady and patient. It does not rush. It does not splash. Somewhere deeper inside, water moves through hidden channels, whispering as it goes. The sound is low and constant, like breathing in sleep. You remove your outer garments and fold them neatly. You have done this many times before. Your body remembers, even if your mind wanders. As you move toward the first chamber, you realize something else. There are no voices. During the day, this place is filled with them. Conversations, laughter, arguments, echoes overlapping one another. But now, there is only the sound of water and the occasional soft creak of stone settling into itself. You step into the warm room. Steam rises gently, drifting toward the ceiling where it disappears into shadow. The pool lies still, its surface barely disturbed, reflecting the lamps like scattered stars. You lower yourself into the water. It welcomes you without ceremony. Warm, not hot, comforting without demand. Your shoulders loosen, your breathing slows. Time stretches here, It always does. As you sit, you remember coming here long ago, not the first time, but far back enough that the memory feels soft around the edges. The baths have always been the same walls, the same quiet dignity. After a while, you hear footsteps again. The old caretaker enters the chamber, carrying a small bundle of folded cloth. He places it on a bench, then settles himself nearby, not too close, not too far. "I like this hour best," he says, almost to himself. The baths listen more when they are nearly empty. You smile, though he is not looking at you. He dips his hand into the water, testing the temperature. His movements are slow, careful, practiced. "They hold heat well," he continues. "Stone remembers warmth." He says this the way someone says something they have learned over a long time, not from books, but from watching. The steam drifts between you. For a few moments, neither of you speaks. Then he adds, softly, "People think places like this are made for crowds, but they are not. They are made for the quiet hours, for the last visitor." You are not sure why those words stay with you. Outside, the city rests. Inside, the baths breathe, and the night continues, unhurried. The warmth settles deeper into your body as you sit there. Not all at once, slowly. First your shoulders, then your back, then places you did not realize were tight until they loosen. The water does not rush this. It never does. The old caretaker remains seated on the stone bench, his hands resting on his knees again. The lamp beside him casts a small circle of light on the floor, and beyond it, the chamber fades into shadow. "You can stay as long as you like," he says. "There is no need to hurry tonight." You nod, though he is still not looking at you. After some time, you rise from the pool and move into the hotter chamber. The heat wraps around you like a thick blanket. Steam beads on your skin, then slides away. The caretaker follows at a distance, carrying a small wooden bucket. He pours water slowly over heated stones, and the steam rises with a soft sigh. "I have done this the same way for many years," he says. "If I pour too quickly, the stones complain." You are not sure how stones complain, but you understand what he means. You sit on the warm stone bench, letting the heat do its work. The sound of your breathing blends with the hiss of steam, the distant flow of water through hidden channels. People come here thinking they will wash away the day, the old man continues. But the day is stubborn. It stays with them for a while. He pauses. Still, the body remembers how to rest. You close your eyes. In the darkness behind your eyelids, the sounds grow softer. Water, steam, the faint crackle of lamp wicks. When you open your eyes again, the caretaker is folding cloths with careful precision, each edge aligned, each movement unhurried. "My father taught me to do that," he says suddenly, as if continuing a conversation you did not know you were having. "He said disorder travels quickly if you let it." You imagine a younger man standing where he now stands, learning the same motions. The thought feels comforting. After a while, you move again, this time toward the cooler chamber. The change in temperature is gentle, refreshing rather than sharp. The pool here is quieter, darker, reflecting less light. You lower yourself in, and the water closes around you. The caretaker sits nearby, his feet resting at the edge, sandals removed. His feet are pale, marked with veins and thin lines, as if they have known both heat and cold for a very long time. I have seen many people pass through these rooms, he says. Some I remember clearly, others blur together like steam. He chuckles softly, though there is no humor in it, only acceptance. There was a baker once, he continues, came every night at this hour. Always complained the water was too warm, said it made him sleepy. He shakes his head slowly. He lived just down the street. That building is gone now. You think of the street outside. You try to imagine it without the buildings you know, and the image feels strange, like trying to remember a dream. The caretaker notices your silence. Cities change, he says gently, but the water always arrives the same way. He leans forward and trails his fingers through the pool, sending small ripples across the surface. They spread outward, then fade. I have closed. The way he says it makes you think he truly means that, not as an expression, but as a simple fact. The lamps flicker as oil burns low. You feel heavy now, not tired in a sharp way, but full, as if your body has finally been given permission to stop holding itself together so tightly. The caretaker rises and walks toward the far wall. He adjusts a valve, and somewhere beneath the stone, water shifts its path. It is almost time, he says quietly, but there is no rush. You rest your head back against the cool stone edge of the pool. The surface of the water moves gently with your breathing. In this place, time does not press forward. It circles, it waits, and the old man watches over it all, as he always has. The lamps have burned lower now. Their light no longer reaches every corner of the chambers. Shadows gather in the spaces between columns, resting there quietly, as if they belong. You move from the pool and sit on the stone edge, wrapping yourself in a cloth that still carries the warmth of the room. It smells faintly of clean water and old stone. The caretaker lifts the dimming lamp and adds oil with practiced care. The flame steadies, then softens again. There, he says, that should last the rest of the night. He sets the lamp down and lowers himself onto the bench, his joints moving carefully, as if he knows exactly how much effort they will allow. For a long moment, neither of you speaks. The water continues its slow conversation with the walls. At last, the caretaker speaks again. People leave pieces of themselves here, he says, not on purpose. He looks at the surface of the pool.
not at you. They come tired or worried or heavy with thoughts. When they leave, they feel lighter. They think it is the water. He shakes his head slightly. It is not only the water. You listen. There was a young soldier once, he continues. He came here the night before he marched north. The caretaker's voice remains steady, unchanging, as if he is describing something that happened yesterday. He sat right there, he says, gesturing vaguely toward the warm chamber. Did not speak, did not move much either. The caretaker pauses. He never returned. You wait, but the old man does not add anything more. He does not say where the soldier went. He does not say what became of him. The story settles into the room and stays there. There was a woman, too, he says after a while. She came every week, always at the same hour. She liked the cooler pool, said it reminded her to breathe. His fingers trace the edge of the bench. She stopped coming one year, long ago. He speaks of these people as if time has not put distance between them and this moment. You shift slightly, the cloth slipping on your shoulder. The caretaker notices and adjusts the edge of the lamp so the light reaches you better. I have seen fathers bring sons, he says, and later sons bring their own children. He smiles faintly. They all sit the same way the first time. You imagine it, the hesitation, the quiet wonder. The baths teach everyone, he continues. They teach you to slow down, whether you want to or not. The sound of water beneath the floor deepens for a moment, then settles again. I remember when these walls were newer, the caretaker says. The stone was brighter then, less worn. You glance at the columns, their surfaces smoothed, softened by centuries of touch. People complain when repairs are made. They say it changes the place. He shrugs slightly. Change comes whether we invite it or not. Something about the way he says this feels heavy, not sad, just certain. You look at him more closely now. The lines on his face are deep, but not harsh. His eyes are clear, alert. They hold no confusion, no fog of age. I have sat in this room during storms, he says, during festivals, during nights when the city did not sleep at all. He pauses. And during nights when it felt like everything stopped. You are not sure what he means by that, but you feel it anyway. One night, he continues, the lamps burned all the way down and no one came. He smiles softly at the memory. I stayed until morning. You imagine him here, alone, listening to the water, watching the light fade and return. The caretaker leans back slightly, resting his hands on the bench. People think they are the ones passing through places like this, he says, but sometimes it is the other way around. The words settle slowly.
Outside, somewhere beyond the thick stone walls, the city shifts in its sleep. A distant sound carries faintly, then disappears. The caretaker closes his eyes for a moment. When you have watched enough nights, he says quietly, they begin to blend together. He opens his eyes again, but the water remembers each one. You feel a small chill, though the air remains warm. The caretaker stands and begins extinguishing lamps one by one. Each flame dims, then disappears, leaving the room softer, darker, quieter. He leaves only one lamp burning near the entrance. "It is almost time," he says, "but do not rush." You rise slowly, your body heavy and calm. The baths feel different now, not threatening, just older, deeper. As you move toward the exit, you glance back once. The caretaker is standing near the pool, watching the water, as if he is listening to something only he can hear. For a moment you wonder how long he has stood there like that. Then the thought drifts away, the way thoughts do at this hour. The night is nearly finished. The last lamp burns quietly near the entrance. Its light does not reach very far now. It only marks where the door is, like a reminder rather than an invitation. You gather your belongings slowly. The cloth feels heavier in your hands, damp with warmth and time. Your body moves without urgency. Every step feels deliberate, as if the night itself is guiding you. The caretaker stands near the far wall, his back turned, adjusting something you cannot quite see. His movements are careful, exact. He finishes, then remains there for a moment, his hand resting on the stone. "You may go when you are ready," he says without turning. "The night will not mind." You walk toward the entrance, your footsteps softer now than when you arrived. The marble floor has cooled slightly, and the air feels different here, thinner, closer to the outside world. You stop near the doorway, hesitating. The caretaker notices. "It is always quieter at the end," he says. "People expect something else, but it is always quiet." He walks toward you, his steps slow, familiar. He reaches the lamp and lowers the wick just a little more. The light dims, but does not disappear. "I have closed these doors more times than I remember opening them," he says. "The motions stay, even when the days blur." He lifts the wooden bar and rests it gently against the door, not quite locking it yet. Outside, the city breathes. You can hear it now. Distant footsteps, a cartwheel far away, a dog shifting in its sleep. The caretaker looks past you, toward the street. He says quietly, "I remember when this road was narrower. Dirt instead of stone, fewer lamps." He pauses. "The sounds were different then." You glance back into the baths. The pools lie still, their surfaces dark and unreadable. Steam has thinned, drifting upward and disappearing into shadow. "It will be empty soon," the caretaker says, "but not lonely." He rests his hand briefly on the door frame. The stone there is smoother than anywhere else, worn by hands coming and going. "Places like this," he continues, "they are not kept alive by crowds." He smiles faintly. "They are kept alive by return." You step closer to the doorway. The night air touches your skin, cool and gentle. It feels strange after the warmth inside, like waking from a deep rest. Before you leave, you turn back one last time. The caretaker is standing where he was when you arrived, near the entrance, as if he never moved at all.
The lamp beside him casts the same soft circle of light. "You will sleep well tonight," he says. "People always do after they listen long enough." You want to ask him something.
You are not sure what. How long have you been here? How long have you worked in this place? Do you ever leave? But the questions feel heavy, too loud for this hour. So instead, you nod. He nods back, just once. You step outside. The door closes behind you with a low, solid sound. Not final, just complete. The street is nearly empty now. The lamps along the road burn low, their light stretching across the stone like thin cloth. You walk slowly. With each step, the warmth from the baths fades a little, but not all at once. Some of it stays with you, tucked beneath your skin. After a few paces, you glance back. The bathhouse stands quietly, exactly as it always has. No sound escapes it. No light spills out now. Just stone and time. You continue walking. As you do, a strange thought drifts through your mind, soft and unformed. You try to remember the caretaker's face more clearly, the exact lines, the exact shape of his eyes, but the memory slides slightly, like steam slipping through your fingers. You remember his voice instead, calm, certain, unhurried. By the time you reach the corner of the street, the bathhouse is out of sight. The city begins to feel ordinary again. Homes, walls, doorways, familiar things. Yet something lingers, a sense that while you sleep tonight, the water will continue to move beneath the stone. The lamps will be tended. The baths will wait, as they always have, as they always will. And somewhere, in the quiet hours between night and morning, an old caretaker will listen to the sound of water flowing, counting nothing, waiting for no one, holding the night steady until it is time to begin again.